Sie uns ein MG-42-Trupp. Sagen Sie den Kommandostab der Greifen an. Sie sollen Verstärkung schicken.
In this first part, I will be taking you on a minute-for-minute step along the events of June 6. Not every minute will be narrated, and you can always read everything back on your own time. Enjoy. In 1943, the Allies were already fighting in Italy, and they needed a second front into Western Europe. The Germans would be convinced if an Allied invasion would occur, it would be at the Pas de Calais. The Allies actually used this to their advantage and let Germany think it would actually happen at Calais. After delaying D-Day for several days because of bad weather, the Allies would land on 5 beaches, and paratroopers were dropped behind the beaches to secure bridges, important access to the beaches and knock out gun batteries.
You know, a lot of people don't realize D-Day, they wrote a lot of books and a lot of movies about it. The whole D-Day was only 18 hours. We dropped the boats at 4 o'clock in the morning, and 10 o'clock at night the beach was ours. It was only 18 hours, the whole thing. People make a big spectacle out of it, you know, D-Day, D-Day. It was 18 hours, that's all it was. But we did lose 2,000 men on the beach. I said men, I shouldn't say men. 2,000 kids. We were all kids. We were all kids. We were too young to drink. We were too young to vote. We weren't too young to die.
At 5 minutes after midnight, German coastal batteries between Le Havre and Cherbourg are the target of Allied bombers. 2 minutes later, German sentries spot low-flying aircraft north of Corentin. At 0:10 hours, American airborne pathfinders jumping to set up markers to identify the drop zones for C-47s carrying the main body of paratroopers for the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions. At 0:16 hours, the first of the 3 British gliders land less than 50 meters from the bridge of Benouville, now known as the Pegasus Bridge. Another 3 British Horsa gliders carrying men of Oxfordshire and Buckinghamshire Light Infantry land just 50 meters away from the Benouville Bridge over the Orne River. At 0:20 hours, under the command of Major John Howard, they storm the now famous Pegasus Bridge. At 0:20 hours, 6 Embalmar aircraft dropped 60 pathfinders from the 22nd Independent Parachute Company on drop zones N, F and K east of the Orne River. At 0:30 hours, 110 bombers belonging to the Bomber Command attacked the anti-aircraft batteries at Caen Kirpec area. 2 Horsa gliders land near the Renville Bridge, now named the Horsa Bridge, for Operation Deadstick. At 0:50 hours, the 5th Brigade of the 6th British Airborne Division dropped near Renville. Separated from the rest of the brigade, the 6th joined the mission commanded by Brigadier Nigel Powett to capture the bridges over the Caen Channel and the Orne River. At 0100 hours, German Unteroffizier Ludwig Forster discovers the Allied Armada off his WN-62 strongpoint. At 0110 hours, German troops of the 84th Corps from the Orne River to St. Malo get the order to stay on the alert. At 0121 hours, the pathfinders of the 82nd Airborne Division jump over the Normandy above the Cotentin to attempt to mark 3 landing zones for the rest of the division. At 0130 hours, the sirens of the Pointark battery are activated to signal the appearance of Allied bombers. At the same time, the 7th German Army has been set on alert. 40 kilometers away, Major General Maxwell Taylor from the 101st Airborne Division lands on the drop zones near Utah Beach in the American sector. At 0200 hours, until the first ships of Force U arrive off Utah Beach at 0229 hours, Marshal von Rundstedt is made aware of alerts following the discovery of paratroopers, and the 21st German Armored Division is set on level 2 alert. At 0230 hours, serious fighting is taking off around Renville between the British airborne troops and German soldiers. A armored vehicle of the 1st Panzerjäger Company of the 716th German Infantry Division is destroyed on the Caen-Ouistreham crossroads in Bonneville. A few minutes later, 2 planes towing gliders are spotted by the Veldpoststamp on the 352nd Infantry Division, and Marshal von Rundstedt reports by radio that he does not believe in a large-scale landing. At 02:45 hours, the 914th Grenadier Regiment reports that 50 to 60 paratroopers jumped south of the Grand Canal of Corentin. 5 minutes later, ships from Force O arrive at Omaha Beach. At 0300 hours, US soldiers from O and U Force off the coast of Omaha in Utah embark into their landing craft. Sergeant Ludwig Forrester fires 3 white rockets from this WN-62 strongpoint on Omaha to ask offshore ships to identify themselves. Of course, they don't get any response. At the same time, the Royal Air Force bombards targets on Caen, and the 914th Grenadier Regiment reports that paratroopers have been spotted south of the Brevants near Gordonville. Also, Allied warships arrive at their positions for their naval bombardment. At 0310 hours, the Pointe-Noire sector sends to the HQ of the 352nd German Infantry Division landing of enemy paratroopers on either side of the mouth of the Veuve. At 0330 hours, troops and vehicles of the 21st Panzer Division are ready to deploy. 5 minutes later, more German reports are sent of bombings at Le Goux, Pointe-du-Hoc and Grand Camp. Close to Renville, 55 Horsa gliders are coming in for Operation Tonga, containing forces for the 6th British Airborne Division. At 0350 hours, at the village of Renville, British paratroopers attack German forces. 5 minutes later, at the north of Hisville, 52 American Waco gliders land as part of Operation Detroit, north of Hisville with forces destined for the 101st Airborne Division. At Hisville, between 0350 and 0400 hours, the Waco glider nicknamed Fighting Falcon with General Pratt from the 101st Airborne Division on board crashed, killing Pratt and several on board. He will be the highest ranking Allied officer to be killed on D-Day. At 0400 hours, 52 American Waco gliders land as part of Operation Detroit northwest of Saint-Melier-Glis. At the same time, the bombing by air starts on German strongpoints WN 44, 47 and 48. 04:15 hours, 4 US soldiers armed only with knives land on the island of Large near Saint-Morcouve, and 15 minutes later it became the first French territory a Allied force took on D-Day. At 04:30 hours, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Ottawa, the battle for the Merville Battery starts, but with only 150 men instead of the 600 paratroopers that were planned. Some without even having any heavy weapons or equipment. And an American officer that was captured a few minutes earlier by the Germans confirms the existence of small paratrooper dolls. These dolls would be equipped with explosives that would have been dropped to distract the Germans. Oh, 45 hours. The 75 men of the 150 who attacked the Merville Battery now control the area. They try to destroy the German guns with some of the plastic explosives they could find. At 0510 hours, the landing and bombardment of the coastal defenses commences. At Gold Beach, the cruiser HMS Orion, Ajax, Argonaut, Emerald and the Dutch gunboat Flores and 13 destroyers open fire on the German positions, and 80 Marauder bombers bombard the gun battery at Montcanis.
Pluskat, hören Sie mich? Was ist denn mit Ihnen? Pluskat, was ist los da? Sind Sie taub? Können Sie nicht? Verdammt nochmal! Kannst du dich selbst hören? Ja! Wir liegen unter Beschuss! Jawohl! Beschuss! Die 5000 Schiffe, die die Alliierten gar nicht haben können, wie Sie meinen. Sie haben sie! Ja, Sie haben sie!
The parachutists came down, the airplanes bombed, and the airplanes came very down. You could see the men when they shoot us. We saw already the tanks coming, and then we saw these people come. It was happy to have to shoot anymore. We didn't want to fight.
At 05:20 hours, German reports say the following. From the 352nd Artillery Regiment to the staff of the 352nd. Infantry Division Advanced Observers of Artillery Groups 2 and 4 report presence of noises. Naval units moving towards Point du Hoc, 29 ships, of which 4 are quite large, are observed at a distance of 6 to 10 kilometers. A number of landing craft in front port of Bessing is probably about 50. At 05:30 hours on Sword Beach, soldiers of the first wave of Force S embark into their landing craft. At 05:50 hours, the American sector of Omaha gets bombed by the USS Texas. At 0600 hours, a total of 270 American Marauder bombers dropped 4,404 bombs on targets along the Norman coast. The bridge of Robin Home on the Dives River has been blown up by Canadian engineers from the 10th section of 3rd Paratrooper Squadron Royal Engineers, and American paratroopers were captured in Carentan. In the next 15 minutes, several German reports are sent. Groups of ships sighted at Grand Cap. Bombardments are on the strong points located at Armanche, Colleville and Saint-Honorine. German reports also say that St. Mary Église was captured by paratroopers. At 06:15 hours, more German reports are sent, and the Omaha beach landing starts. At 06:20, German reports 29 vessels, including 4 large units, off Port and Bessing and Point du Hoc, and 4 Allied aircraft are shot down near Fort McNee. And at 06:29, 32 amphibious Sherman tanks are deployed on Dock Green and Dock White sectors on Omaha Beach. At 06:30 hours, the 2nd Battalion of the 8th Regiment of 4th US Infantry Division land on Eagle Red sector of Utah Beach. At 06:35 hours, landing of the first wave of the 116th Regiment starts on Omaha Beach. At 06:45 hours, the deployment of 32 Sherman DD tanks starts of the 70th Armored Battalion. 4 sink and 28 reach the shore. Landing of the second wave of assault starts on Omaha Beach, and the destroyer HMS Wrestler hits a mine in the Eastern Task Force sector. B-25 aircraft complete placing a smokescreen that protects the Allied Armada. At 0710 hours, the Pak 43 housed inside the WN-61 strongpoint on Omaha is put out of action, either destroyed by a direct hit from naval artillery or by a Sherman tank commanded by Sergeant Turner Shepard. 1 minute later, the assault force carrying Colonel Rudder's 225 Rangers land at the base of the cliffs of Point du Hoc. At 07:15 hours, German reports state that the WN-60 strongpoint is severely bombed and that 20 landing craft are approaching Omaha Beach. 07:20 hours, German reports say that amphibious tanks have been spotted in the area of Vieux-sur-Mer. The naval bombardment on Gold Beach, Juno Beach and Sword Beach have stopped, and the start of landing of tanks on board LCTs from the 22nd Dragons on Sword Beach. At 07:25 hours, Sherman crab tanks land on Gold Beach, Juno Beach and Sword Beach to bind and clear obstacles on the beach. The 5th British Infantry Division, led by Major General Graham, and Churchill AVR tanks of the 5th Assault Regiment land on Gold Beach. 07:30 hours, paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division seize the number 3 beach exit on Utah Beach. At 07:45 hours, a temporary HQ is set up in a crater on Point Tuac by the Rangers. At Omaha Beach, German soldiers report the breakthrough of 6 tanks at the WN-66 strongpoint. Task Force C lands on Omaha Beach with A and B companies of the 2nd Rangers Battalion at Dog Green and Dog White sectors. And the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division lands on Juno Beach. At 0800 hours, 4 battalions have landed on Utah Beach. 1 gun of the Crespeck batteries put out of action, and US soldiers reach the top of the beach at WN-60 strongpoint on Omaha Beach. Rangers who were originally to land on Point Tuac land on Omaha Beach, and 5 minutes later the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division reports that Mike Green Beach area is under artillery fire. German reports say weak enemy assault at the Point Tuac battery, 50 men in front of the WN-68 strongpoint in Veerville. 0810 hours, on Omaha Beach Sherman DT tanks that were going for Fox Green have sunk. Number 91 landing craft also sunk on Omaha Dog Green White sector. In the next 10 minutes the following happens. Radio transmissions come in that the Veerville battery has been destroyed, and German reports come in on the Point Tuac saying that the enemy is climbing the rock walls. At 020 hours, the 7th Battalion of the Green Howard 69 Infantry Division of the 5th Infantry Division land on Gold Beach, and number 4 Command of the 1st Special Service Brigade land on Sword Beach. In the next 10 minutes, the following happens. Omaha Beach receives artillery fire from the Macy batteries. Also on Omaha Beach, the troop take over WN-62 strongpoint, and the WN-61 strongpoint is attacked from the front and the back. At 0830 hours on Omaha Beach, the landing is stopped due to lack of space on the beach. The Germans think they are winning the battle and counterattack the WN-60 strongpoint. And the first HQ is established on the beach by General Cota. The bridge at Vardenville on the Dives River has been blown up by the 1st Canadian Parachute Battalion. At 08:35 hours on Omaha Beach, the Americans captured their first prisoners. German reports show that between 100 and 200 soldiers have penetrated the defense at Colleyville and that the battalion has reinforced the German defense positions. At 8:45, German reports show that the WN-7 strongpoint fell into enemy hands and that the W-62 was destroyed and 3 tanks passed through the WN-66 strongpoint. And reports come in from Sword Beach that the Royal Marines Commando 41 has landed. At 8:49 hours, reports from Omaha Beach, the American 116th Infantry Division is blocked by heavy machine gun fire and calls for artillery support. 08:57 hours on Gold Beach, German reports come in. 30 enemy tanks landed between the WN-35 and WN-36 strongpoints.
The kid was 2 feet away from me. Was not so lucky. The machine gun took his helmet off and part of his head. He was crying. Help me. Help me. And he fell at my feet. I couldn't help him. I had no morphine. I couldn't even help myself. How could I help him? I didn't know what to do. So I started to pray. And I think the prayers calmed him down a little bit. But he's on my feet. And he's crying, help me. He's crying, Mama. So I reached down and I touched his hand. I didn't want to die alone. He squeezed my hand and he died.